And I'm also a Hall of Famer.
Keep going.
And, been a businessman since I was 18 years old.
What type of business?
I had beauty salons, 2 construction companies, promotional companies. I got a freight brokering company.
You do freight brokering? I'm impressed.
Do freight broker. I got a truck company. Just COVID-19 shut a lot of stuff down.
It did.
You know, and couldn't get nobody to come to work, and just shut down 2 beauty salons and a nail salon within the last 4 or 5 months. Opening up one any day now.
Okay, so why did you shut the others down?
Couldn't get nobody to come to work. I just decided to shut it down after 4 years and focus on a particular location where I grew up at.
Where is that?
Avondale town, Avondale.
Okay, so you're going to do a startup in that area?
Yes,
Okay, for a nail salon. So are you looking for people?
I'm looking for stylists, barbers, and a nail tech.
Well, the word is out.
That it is.
Okay, that's all good. So you clearly are an entrepreneur, and I love that. And you're a businessman, and I love that too. They're not the same. An entrepreneur is definitely not the same pressures as a businessman in terms of managing your affairs, but it sounds like you've done them wonderfully. Do you do a lot of public speaking and sharing of your knowledge?
Used to. I'm thinking about starting a podcast now called
Okay.
Success is a Choice. So I'm doing a little research, speaking to people that start podcasts and just trying to figure it out.
Well, podcasts are a powerful venue.
I believe
nationally.
so.
They are. They are definitely very, very powerful
And I
in getting
think-
a message across.
And I think that people need the knowledge.
They do.
Because what hurts us as an African American is, you know, we got ideas, we just don't know how the know-how,
Tell me more.
the resources.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I've been thinking about, I've been on 2 or 3 podcasts and got a lot of good reviews. Because I'm speaking on being a fighter just about all my life, you know, and I see a lot of fighters that come before me and after me, they refuse to go to work. I'm a type of guy, I go to work. You give me a job, I'll be there. Normally 2 hours early.
Okay, that's even better.
Yes.
So when you say that a lot of these guys won't work a job or they don't want to build a business, what's the deal?
They won't work a job, the ones I know.
Okay.
You know, you got
so how
some-
do they feed themselves?
I don't have the slightest idea. You know, most
Jeez.
fighters think they ladies men and ladies supposed to pay them or something.
Oh, really?
So the ones I know,
Okay.
they figure they live off women.
Oh,
And, you know, they understand everybody got a time that, you know, them handsome days is over. The
sort
performing
of.
days is over. You know
Sort
what I mean?
of.
So, you know, they got to have plan B.
Yeah, and your plan B was after Mike Tyson was to do your thing as a business person. And
Well, I was doing my thing way before I met Tyson.
How did you meet Mike Tyson? I'm not trying to be obsessive, but Mike Tyson is an interesting person.
I was actually scheduled to fight Mike in 1984 at the Ohio State Fair. And I ended up losing in the semifinals. The build-up was me and Mike Tyson because Mike was a popular heavyweight and I became a popular heavyweight.
Okay.
And back then 1984 was the last major tournament of the Ohio State Fair because you got all the top fighters was there.
Really?
Now you come to the Ohio State Fair, you might get a bow to the championship, you know. And
Okay.
but I think my 1984 last year was the most popular year because you had all the top fighters there. Ricky Warmack, you know, Olympian guy. We had Mike Tyson there. He had Henry. What's Henry name? Beat Mike Tyson for the Tillman. Henry Tillman, Holyfield, and all them. Holyfield was on the USA team, so he came in and fought in
And
the
this
championship.
is at the state in Columbus.
Right.
They had all this going on up there.
They still got it going on. It's just ain't as popular as it used to be.
Wonder why?
I don't have the slightest idea. They ain't been that popular since 1984.
Okay.
Because we used to have to fight twice a day, 7 days, you know, for 7 days.
For that event.
Right.
At the state fair.
And we was up there training. We was fighting. The winners kept going. The losers go home.
Did you get paid, or was this
Nah, it's
donation?
amateur for
Okay.
status. It was 1984.
Okay.
It was the year of the 1984 Olympics. If
Okay.
you won the Ohio State Fair, you qualified for the Olympic trials.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so
Nice.
it was a
Nice.
huge tournament. And I ended up losing in the semifinals. And just got a little cocky and underestimated the guy. He was ranked number 3 in the world as an amateur, and he was easy the first round. You know, I got a little comfortable, a little cocky, and got hit with a solar plex shot, and I never heard of a solar plex shot.
What is
but
that?
It knocked the wind out of me. Get hit right here.
Ooh.
It knocked the wind out of me, and he hit me with 3 left hooks and TKO'd me. Mike came out the next night, 30 seconds, hit him with a left hook and knocked him out. And Mike got opportunity to go to the Olympic trials. That's when he lost to Henry Tillman. He lost to him twice and missed out going to the Olympics, and Henry Tillman won the gold medal that year.
My words.
But getting back to how I met Mike Tyson,
yeah, I want to
we was
hear
in
this.
we was in a tournament, and on our downtime, we shot dice in my room.
Are you talking about at the state?
Right,
This
we shot dice in my room, and I beat everybody at their money.
Oh, no, you didn't.
And then in order for me,
You weren't even a gentleman about it.
they was gonna tell on me, so I had to give everybody their money back.
Okay.
And that was the best $10 I ever spent. Me and Mike went to McDonald's, been friends ever since. Been friends ever since.
I like Mike Tyson.
He's a good guy.
I just like him. Even with the pigeons.
He done made a lot of changes in his life since his daughter passed away. His daughter passed away in, I think it was 2009, because my son got murdered in 2008. And me and a friend of mine flew out to the funeral, and Mike embraced me, thinking that I understood that, you know, the death of a child. But when I explained to him, my son was brutally murdered.
Oh.
His daughter was her death was accidentally.
Do you feel comfortable talking about that period in your life?
I feel very comfortable. That's what motivates me nowadays.
Talk to me about your child.
Well, you know, it's like anything else. You know, I came up from a family of 20. I got 8 brothers and 12 sisters. And
Ooh-wee.
and the situation is, I'm a strong believer, in order for you to have, you got to want.
Mm-hmm.
Wanting things gives you the motivation to have.
Okay.
Some people take bad choices, some people make right choices.
Mm-hmm.
I made a bunch of bad choices, but I understood the blessings that I had. For the things that I got away with and the things that I did in my past, you know, I woke up one morning and didn't like that person I seen in the mirror.
Okay.
This was 2000. And I decided not to do the things I was doing. I don't want to speak on the things I was doing because it might incriminate me or something, you know what I mean? And
I don't want to visit
I watched
you
on
in the
this,
big
I
house.
YouTube all this last night. Watch
Right.
what you say.
Right. Be
You know,
careful
because they
what
don't
you
have the
say.
statute of limitations
Right,
to certain things.
exactly.
But the thing was, I made a choice because I come from a God-fearing family.
Okay.
You know, I got a mom that she's a dinosaur. You know,
Ooh-wee.
she ain't got no quit in her. She's 85 years old and still running. You know, and come from an educated family. Got about 6, 7 sisters with all type of degrees, and the situation was that I seen a lot of things in the streets that it wasn't me, but it was in me. You know, and I didn't like the type of person when I got in that lifestyle, the type of person it created.
Okay.
Because
what
I
kind of
lived-
person do you think it created?
Well, you know, I had a brother get killed in 1980, so it made me a very violent person. You know, and then I'm the type of person I live by rules, and the type of people I came up under, you know, with family members and a lot of friends. I came up around a lot of dangerous people.
Okay.
You know, and then you had rules to the things that you was involved in. You know, I'm the type of person, I follow rules.
Right.
You know,
Boundaries. I'm sure you had
and I think that's what carried me through my trials and tribulations of my life. You know, and then woke up one morning in 2000, just didn't want to do it no more.
I hear you.
You know, because it made me an animal. You know, I had zero understanding about things, only knew how to deal with people one way, and that was violence. You know, that's the only thing I felt like they understood.
So where did you learn this? And I don't want to get off the topic of your child because that's very important to me, that grieving. But what brought about the change?
Well, the change was in 2000, like I say, it made me an animal. And it was easy for me to walk away from the things I was doing because I had $2 million. You know, but I was always a businessman. So I decided, I got back in church because I went to church for 20 years and never joined. Then one day the preacher say they had communion, and the preacher say, you ain't even a member. And they was arguing because they didn't believe I wasn't a member. Because I went every Sunday for over 20 years. I got married in church and everything. 'Cause I got married at 17 years old.
Okay.
You know, I never really had a childhood, you know,
Right.
because you got 20 people in the family. I got tired of wearing hand-me-downs. You know, I wanted my own stuff, you know what I mean? And then I had a brother, the one that got killed. I ran up behind him all the time. And you know, being a street person, he shot dice, he played pool, he did 3-card molly. Everything he did, he was good at it.
Wow.
And that I was impressed with it, so I followed him. He was a
Right.
couple of years older than me, so everywhere he went, I went.
Okay.
You know, and I ran into a situation in 1977. A person got murdered, and I had minor involvement in that. Thank God I was blessed and was found not guilty. And 3 guys was with me. They went to jail for manslaughter, and that changed my life about being with a group of guys.
Oh, yeah, your
You know,
association.
and from that point on, I never did nothing with a bunch of guys because, you know, you never know which one of them is going to fold or which one going to stand up. So I always was taught to believe in myself, trust
Right,
myself, you
right.
know. So from that point on, everything I did in a lot of places I go, I mostly go by myself. But I
Okay.
established enough respect that I could do that, you know, and then I respect people and they respect me. And getting back to what changes things in me, like I say, I was a very violent person. I had a brother got murdered, and I always, in my mind, if I beat somebody up, they might come back and kill me. So I developed a policy when I beat them up, they go into the doctor for a few days, evaluate that, you know, they was wrong and accept the fact. You know, that's just my policy back then. But I woke up one day, you know, I was selling drugs and doing this and that, and I never used drugs, so I never knew what the effect was. And I started seeing certain things, I start paying more attention. Individuals I was doing business with, lifestyle start changing because of drugs and whatever that. And I just woke up and didn't like that person. I had a lot of former athletes. I had a lot of professional athletes. Because through the early '80s and stuff like that, you was connected to everybody. Everybody want to go to the clubs. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
And
right.
and it's not hard to establish a reputation when you got credibility.
Right.
You know, and I established some credibility. My word was my bond, and I never mistreated people. So that helped me get connected to a lot of football players, a lot of baseball players. You know, I was affiliated with a lot of guys from the Indiana Pacers.
Okay.
And, you know, whatever you do wrong, it's it's a policy where a lot of people knew what I was doing, but a lot of people didn't know what I was doing because I dealt with high level of guys. I
Right.
dealt with more of the dealers because I was in position to deal with them. I was in position to make them an offer that they couldn't refuse.
Right.
You
right.
know, and that's, you know, lower price, better product. And like I said, in 2000, I ran the streets for about a good 20 years in the streets, getting a lot of money, and just woke up one morning and didn't like that person, you know, and I chose not to walk away from it. I got myself back in church, and then the preacher started just tricking me out of money. You know, I think the first 3 days out of church, he got me out about 3,000.
I mean, why not?
Hey, he asked me for some money so much, I asked him for some.
Yes.
I started a boxing program, started me a non-profit organization in 2000. I bought a plaza for $1 million and opened up a gym, opened up my first barber and beauty salon, and just to socialize myself with anybody who was involved in the streets. You know, they couldn't come around me if they was doing anything wrong. You know what I mean? He had to stay away from me
Okay.
because I chose to, you know, walk away from their lifestyle and start doing some positive things. And then in 2008, my son got murdered. My son dealt with a lot of pressure being my junior, and
Did he look like you?
they looked like me. He was just as dangerous as I was too, but
Okay.
he wasn't as intelligent.
Okay.
You know, he thought bullying people and taking people's stuff was the way to go,
Okay.
but he wasn't always like that. You know what I mean? I think his biggest problem was his association.
Okay.
The
His
guys was
peers,
around
yeah.
him was cutthroat guys.
Okay.
You know, they believe it. They'll do business with you and make a phone call on you for the guy to come and rob you. He just probably sold it to you or something. You know, he just started hanging around the wrong guys, and you know what hurted me. That I could have accepted him getting murdered, but I couldn't accept the people that killed him. Because the
Did you
people who
know
killed
them?
him, they was my other son's friends. That's why they was able to get close to him and kill him for $3,000 just because he wouldn't join up with them. Now I would have accepted better if he'd have did something to them
Right.
and they revenge whatever that situation, because them just basically the rules. But they killed him because he wouldn't join up with them, and he had an incident with one of the guys, and the guy pulled a gun out on me. And then I tried to explain to him, you don't have to protect me, I'm a grown man.
Right.
He pulled a gun out on me just out of respect
Uh-huh.
for me, because physically he couldn't beat me, you know, and I wasn't mad at him that he pulled a gun out of him. I was just telling him, you got a problem with my son, don't bother my daughter.
Okay.
That's when I step in, and that situation happened. My son ended up getting murdered, and
So sorry.
it changed my life, because I just lost my way for a while because I had so much hatred and vengeance in my heart. And it's a situation that make you change a lot of things, and everybody deal with situations differently because I come from an era and a lifestyle where I'm real strong about revenge, and that's done control my life for the last 15 years, and
What does that mean when you say you about revenge? If you do it to me, I'm gonna do it to you.
that's
If you do
basically what
to
it
my
means.
family, I'm gonna get your family.
That's basically what it means,
Okay, I just need to know.
and it's just a situation where it take a unique person to make decisions. I can choose to go revenge that situation, take a chance of losing what I have, and that boils down to personal choices. You know what I mean? Because I understand what the consequences are. So that's something I just got to deal with. Whenever that situation occurred. But at this point in time in my life, it took me away from the things I was doing because, like I said, I started a group home.
Right.
I had 6 group homes dealing with 7 kids per house, and I made a difference. 6 of my kids went in the Army, 2 of them went in the Army, 2 of them went in the Navy, and 2 of them went in the National Guards.
Oh, really?
Because I had those armed forces was part of my sponsorship. They sponsored my program and stuff like that, and when I did events, I allowed them to show up and solicit kids to come to the Army. And the kids I was dealing with, I can't encourage them to go in. And 2 of them kids is Navy SEALs today. They've been
As we
they've been in
speak.
there about 17 years now.
And then
And
Navy SEALs, top of the line.
Top of the line. I'm really proud of them.
You should be.
And then you build relationships. You know what I mean? Because I treated the kids like they was my kids.
Right.
More so than I know a lot of other my friends got group homes and they don't really take care of the kids. But I was just fortunate enough to be affiliated with a couple of good friends, and we sold clothes. And I was able to get, when you buy one pair of blue jeans, you got about 18 pair of the same blue jeans. You know what I mean? Just different sizes. Thank God I had all them kids. I just ordered a couple of packs and just drop them off at the houses. But my kids went to school. They didn't have to feel discouraged enough because they was just as, and then they was just as clean as the other kids. You know what I mean? I really cared about them. And I talked to the lady the other day, told her I'm finna open up some more group homes. I'm finna, start generating my program back. And she was glad because I really cared about the kids.
Let's talk about this program that you have the group homes with the children.
Now I'm going to reopen it.
Okay, but you did.
Yeah.
And what did you have going on there to keep them positive and actively involved in living a good life?
See, my program consists of Nate Tubbs Group Home and Amateur Boxing Program.
Okay.
That's the program.
Okay.
And where it worked so good for me because you got 7 kids. When I first started in 2000, I put, you looking at being greedy. It's paying $3,500 a month per bed, 7 foot of space back then. They paying $9,000 today. For a bed, 7 foot of space. And what made my program so unique, I was affiliated with Mike Tyson. I had Mike Tyson come and visit. I had him visit, and the first time he ever came was in 1996. He had just got out of prison. Had him came, we visited a couple of group homes and stuff like that, and went to see some kids. But what made my program so unique, I cared, and then I had a tutoring program.
Oh, you did?
I had, in my program, you can pull it up, my program had therapeutical therapy and stuff like that. Where I made my mistake at, I had a therapist, she come and had 1 hour with one kid, and then I started looking at my files and stuff. I said, oh, these kids got the same problems. So I eliminated my cost, but instead of her coming to deal with one kid, she came to deal with all 7 of them.
Yes.
They all had similar problems, and
Trauma.
she was mad about that because she was getting like $3,600, to be one down to 100 per hour.
Right.
She came 3 days a week. And but then I had the boxing program.
Okay.
Whenever we had some type of conflict, I'd take the kids to the gym. A lot of them ran through my program and they hit the heavy bag, and next thing you know, after 3 minutes, they huffing and puffing, but they don't relieve all that pressure and strength and stuff like that, all that tension they had.
Were there girls involved in this?
I just dealt with boys.
Okay, I'm not
Right.
pro or con. It just was interesting.
Right. I dealt with, I had girls come through my boxing program, but I mostly dealt with, on the group home side, I mostly dealt with teenage boys from ages 10 to 17. Because after 17, once they turn 18, it starts being what you call extended living,
Okay.
and they start trying to live on their own and stuff like that. But the program worked very well because, like I say, I cared. It's a difference when you personally care about them. And I had a barber and beauty salon, so they gave us stimuluses,
Okay.
to get their hair stuff, cuttings like that. Right.
Skills, yeah.
Basically just being serviced, being groomed. And right now I'm looking to open up a barber school and a cosmetology school because I done tried the hairstyling and the barber business, and like I say, people don't want to come to work, and they'll go to school to learn the trade,
But they
but then they'll be in their house doing the work, what I mean? They be cutting hair in the kitchen, what I mean? So, I'm learning how to adjust,
Okay.
and
But don't they have to be licensed at
yes,
some point?
that's why I'm interested in starting the school,
Yeah, okay.
because
To
I
facilitate
provide
that.
I provide jobs available for them, job development and stuff like that.
That's very powerful. I'm going to switch for a minute because we've had the pleasure of being in this conference center, New Generations. Why do you come here?
Well, the man that owned the place, he was married to a cousin of mine as his second wife. So I've been
Okay.
around him since I was 8 years old.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? And it's a situation where I grew up under these guys, and I learned. I'm the youngest one to be down here, but I learned a lot from them.
I bet you did.
And then, it's a situation where I got a whole mind. I'm only 59 years old,
I
but
see.
all my friends 73, 75,
Right.
And then we all on the same page. We want the same things, you know what I mean? And then you want to be around guys you can trust,
Yes.
It's a cruel world out there now, and we kind of like what you call old timers now. We sit down here and relax. We might take a little trips and stuff like that, but the things that we desire, we don't desire them things no more.
Oh, I'm sure.
So we kind of settle. Ain't too much we ain't done in life, and we don't live wonderful lives,
So good to hear. I just wanted to know, had it been impactful on you? Because this is such an extraordinary group. For me, I mean, I'm
Right.
face to face with men that have done and are doing some remarkable things, black men.
Right.
And I'm so proud of you. I am, Nate.
Appreciate it.
No, I am. You're still a young man, and yet you've lived a life.
Yeah, I definitely lived a life,
Yeah, you've lived a life. Yeah.
and boxing saved my life.
Boxing saved
actually,
your life.
boxing saved my life because boxing gave me a situation of being a part of something
Okay.
that I enjoyed. All they had to do is take me out of town one day. See, I never really liked boxing, but I love to fight.
Okay.
My sport was basketball. I played basketball for 15 years. I ain't started fighting until I was about 17. I think I started fighting. I was 16 years old because I met my wife at the gym. I started at St. Mark's over in Evanston.
Right.
And my uncle was training, he was the trainer down at Finney Street Neighborhood House, so he made me come down there.
wow.
I go down there and see my wife and fell in love the first day I seen her.
Oh, isn't that
And she was going with one of the toughest guys, one of the toughest little fighters down there. I stood outside until she got off work. We got finished training. I said, we going to the movies. It was 48 hours that night.
Whoa.
And she ended up going to the movies with me. I just seen him the other day. He always call me, you stole my girlfriend.
That's what I was going to say. It
Yeah.
had to be something about she used to be my girl.
He say that to me. We was married for 25 years.
Oh, my goodness.
He still say it. Yeah.
Huh.
I seen him at a friend of ours funeral.
Oh, my goodness.
He always addressed me as he stole my girlfriend.
You
I
stole
said, yeah, and
my
I put 4
woman.
babies in it too.
Yeah. That is absolutely a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful story.
But being around older guys, all my life I always hung around older guys.
Really?
I never believed in riding bikes and skateboards. I never did none of that type
So
stuff.
what'd you do?
I was stealing cars,
Stealing
I was going to the bars. I was one of the old enough to get in the bar. A bar called the Palm Room. It was a place up on Macmillan. They just let me in all the time. But everybody I ran with, they was always grown. So we was like,
So they took you under their wing. Is that what happened?
Yeah, but I was a leader type guy though. Let's not make no mistake.
Okay,
You know, guys I was around, I was sort of like the boss. You know what I mean?
okay.
I was the one with the major plan.
okay, okay.
You know, so it's
okay.
a lot of mutual respect there though, you know.
But I would think that you would have learned a lot from these men, these black
I learned a lot from them. You know, when I first started turn pro and started fighting on USA TV and Showtime and all that stuff, and they used to always interview me out of the group, and I always spoke about Red's Pool Room because he was like a mentor, a place where we grew up at.
Oh, okay.
After I had the incident with the murder charge, where I started hanging in the pool room in 1977, and my brother was up there, and my mom wrote a note saying, as long as my brother's up there, I can go up there.
Okay.
And I learned a lot from up there, from all them guys. I learned a lot from them. And then I came through an era where we respected our elders. If they told us something, we respected it. You know what I mean? These guys now have zero respect and stuff like that. They don't have no discipline. They don't have no type of social, you know, everybody, you know, suck my thing and call you bees and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We never did all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, we respected our elders, you know. We always had some bad apples, and the ones that was bad apples, we dealt with them and got past it, you know what I mean? And it was a wonderful thing.
So what do you see happening today? And what can we do to change?
Well, I think the kids nowadays need more education.
More education.
You know, more resources. That's one of the reasons I was thinking about starting a podcast called Success is a Choice, and just mostly funneling information to the public.
Okay.
You know, because they don't understand what options they got. They don't know if they structure their business right, they can go to the bank and get a $50,000 loan with no documentation.
You're right.
These things they need to be taught. They don't understand. Like I got turned down for a grant today. And like I said, I made an appointment to go see her Thursday. We figure out the next strategy. What's else available?
Right.
You know,
What
because
can that
evidently I
grant-
didn't qualify for that grant.
Right. But
You
there
know?
had to be something more to it.
But we can't just keep accepting no. See, I refuse to accept no. They say I can't do no. We're gonna figure out what the plan is.
I think
You know, what are the options I got? I got an application for a Microsoft loan for $50,000. The man asked me, how much do I want? How much do I need? I need 50. If you give it up 50,
Right.
you know, I need it all. But everything is about educating ourselves about what's available and what options we have.
Okay.
And I think that what hurt us all the time is like lack of knowledge. And I want to kind of start a podcast consist of trying to feed information. 'Cause I'm on the computer all the time.
Okay.
And, you know, I'm learning things, how to clean your credit up. You know what I mean? I just made a phone call yesterday and told my guy that does all my corporations, what would it cost me for you to amend my corporation? Because in order for you to go to the bank, you know, I just found out all businesses got an NCIS number.
Right. Correct.
You know, and they got a category of high-risk companies. Trucking companies are high risk.
They are.
Real estate is high risk.
Yeah.
You know, so they say the most popular company is a consultant because you can consult about anything.
You can.
I told him, I said, man, can you make all my companies consulting
Consulting
companies?
companies, I love
You know, freight broker consulting. You know what I mean? Hey, Tibbs Real Estate Consulting. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because that's more attracted to the banks.
Uh-huh.
You know, then I'm learning how to fill out application. You know, I've been self-employed just about all my life. I didn't had jobs. I almost always had my own businesses. And, you know, you can't put on an application that you self-employed.
No.
Man, I'll put on an application. I got one. I'm an operational director. You know what I mean? A paid position. You know what I mean? That's what I'm learning now is how to structure your company and how to fill out applications properly. You know what I mean? And education is power.
I couldn't agree with
You
you
know,
more.
and them the things I learned, you know, and being around the people I be around, I try to share, you know, I'm a person, I share my information. Like when I find out about a grant, I tell everybody, you know what I mean? That's probably why I ain't get there, you know what I mean? Too many people apply, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's because I asked.
But your stuff, Nate, your stuff is nigh unto you right now. You know
Right.
that. Never in history have we seen the times we're in where those who are prepared can get it.
Right.
And you gonna get it.
And it's all about being prepared
You have to. You
and
have to.
understanding what we need to be prepared. And it don't take that much.
You were born and raised in Cincinnati, Ohio,
Yes.
on the West End,
Yes.
which is where a whole lot of people started.
Yes, ma'am.
They did. And you're a graduate of Taft High School in Cincinnati, Ohio,
Yes.
which at that time was a black school.
Yes.
You went on to serve in the military,
Yes.
so you went into the Coast Guard, and then from there, where'd you go?
For about, I guess, 2 years, I didn't do anything. And when I turned 21, I applied for the police department and was accepted by the time I was 22.
So you went to serve as a police officer with the Cincinnati Police Department
Yes, ma'am.
when you were 22?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Hudson, there couldn't have been but a few black people on the police department.
Well, at that time, they had a big recruitment for people of color.
Okay.
And my class, prior to my class, over the years, if they hired a black, he was the only one in the class.
One.
That's the way it was.
Okay, any women? No.
No. In my class, we had, I think, 28 or 29 blacks.
In your class, out of a total class population of?
76, I think it was, 76.
Well, that's about what, 30%?
Yes.
That's pretty respectable.
But it was trying to get government money, that's what that was about.
Ah, government money, I thought I heard something.
Yeah.
Okay, so they did this reach out. They brought in a large number of African-American men who became cadets. Is that the way that works?
Well, they became recruits. There's a difference between cadet and recruit.
Okay.
Cadets start at let's say 17 when they get out of high school, 18 years old, and they have a program at UC
Oh, really?
where they take classes in, what is it, they end up with an associate's degree in police science.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. And the recruit does a similar job description as a cadet?
Well, a recruit goes to school, period, for about 3 months.
Police?
Yes.
You were a recruit,
Yes, ma'am.
not a cadet.
Not a cadet.
Was the treatment different? Since
Yes.
you came up under this quote, push for black police officers.
Well, it was during a time when racism was out there. I mean, they looked at that class as a joke, really. You know, the police officers that was on there because it was a good old boy system. People from the West Side basically controlled the police department, and
You're talking about like Western Hills and that?
right, their families, yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't about having blacks on the police department. It was totally different than it is now. I mean, it's better now from what I understand.
Okay. So you came in as a recruit. What was your area of specialization?
I was stationed in District 1.
Where's that at?
310 Ezra Charles.
Okay, so you were downtown.
Right. And what happened was there was a young girl, I think she was about maybe 9 or 10 years old, that came up missing.
In your district?
Yes.
Okay.
And she had some mental issues.
Okay.
And the mother didn't have a picture of her.
The mother did not have a picture of the
Right.
child.
Right. And I think it was somebody within the police department, mentioned the fact how I used to sit in class and draw the teachers. And they asked me, could I draw a composite possibly of this young girl so they could put it out, which I did.
Okay.
And
How do you feel about that?
well, I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed
Okay.
doing it. And I was able to get a composite out. Unfortunately, the young lady was found dead
Oh.
in a building on Vine and Finley.
Okay, I know where that is.
Yeah, Finley and Vine. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's where it started, as far as the drawing is concerned.
So let me just kind of summarize. You got involved as a recruit. How did they know you knew how to draw?
Well, I used to sit in class
And doodle?
and doodle. Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
I would
I'm
draw.
sure they like that.
Yes, I draw the teachers, the commanders that come in, and they made mention of it somehow, and the word got out.
Okay. So as a result of your innate talent, did you become a specialist in that type of thing?
Well, yes, I did draw,
Okay.
but being a police specialist is a tested position.
Translate for those of us that don't know what that is.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Within the police department, within Cincinnati's police department, you have police officer. Well, you have recruit police officer once he graduates, and then from police officer, you have a position that they no longer have now called specialist.
Okay.
And then from specialist, which is it's the old detective badge, and from that you went to sergeant, lieutenant, captain, and all up
Okay.
the ranks. And as a specialist, you could work uniform or non-uniform. And the best part about it was you received 8% more money.
Oh, okay, per, as
No.
you went up the hierarchy, or just 8%?
You received 8% more money than a police officer.
Really?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound bad.
No, it wasn't. And it was a good position. But before I made specialist, I was drawing already.
Okay.
Yes. I
So
was doing composites.
So you moved up the food chain and became a specialist in a very, very limited market. I can't believe they had all kinds of people that did what you did.
No, on Cincinnati's police department, there was about maybe 60 positions out of at that time it was a 1,000-man force.
Okay.
It's down now, but it used to have 1,000 police officers. And I think at that time they may have had anywhere between 60 and maybe 100 that were specialists.
Okay, out of the 1,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And historically, once a police officer made specialist, there was no desire to go further.
That was it.
That was it. Never want to go any further. No, don't want to be no sergeant. Don't want to be no lieutenant.
Because of the compensation?
No, because it's a better job.
Does it pay more?
8% more than the police officer.
Okay.
And you can do the same job.
And you could do the same job?
Yes.
Okay, so is that what you did?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that makes sense. You got to know, I'm the money lady. I'm always counting dollars and looking at why.
I understand.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. So you became a specialist, you got your 8%, you were able to do your passion, which is sketching,
Yes, ma'am.
and this is what you did for how long?
Well, until around 19, let's see. It had to be 1977.
1977?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
At that time, I committed what's known as political suicide.
Oh, you're a bad guy.
Not necessarily a bad guy.
Okay, no, I wasn't saying that to be mean. So what is your definition of political suicide?
Well, what happened was I had worked for a guy in District 3, a
Now,
lieutenant,
District 3 is
on Warsaw,
Warsaw.
on the west
Okay,
side.
on the west side,
Yes.
okay, okay.
And because of my drawing, there was an incident that occurred in Hyde Park where a house had been robbed, and the people that were robbed were tied up, and stuff was stolen.
Okay.
They broke in the safe, and the rumor is that this older couple in Hyde Park, were actually connected to the mafia.
Okay.
And there was 3 guys that came in there and robbed them. Anyway, they contacted me. I was at work, and I was given a directive to respond to the address in Hyde Park
Okay.
and do a drawing, which I followed orders. I did. I went, did the drawings. And what happened, though, is they have a thing called crossovers. Like if
Okay.
one district has to go to another district to make a run, it kind of looks bad for the district that couldn't make the run.
Right.
So this lieutenant that I worked for, he was upset about it.
Upset about you going to another district?
Right. And
Did
somebody
they have
else, and somebody else making my runs in the district that I was assigned to.
However, help me to understand this. You were mandated to go to this
Yes.
other location.
Yes. Oh, I
By
didn't.
your boss?
Right. I didn't get in any trouble.
Okay, you didn't get in any
No,
trouble.
I didn't get in
Okay.
trouble.
Okay,
So
this
what
is
it was-
going good.
What it turned out to be was a policy needed to be set.
Okay,
So what this lieutenant did was he contacted the chief, who was at the time Leisler, contacted him, and he basically wrote a policy. And the policy basically stated, if an incident occurs in the district that I'm working in, it's okay for me to do it,
okay, if it's in that district.
if it's in that district.
Okay,
If
but,
it occurs in another district
okay,
and I'm working, then they have the option to send someone over to my beat and run my beat while I go there,
that makes sense.
or it would have to be done either before I came to work or after I got off.
So with this in mind, because of the policy change, and you were not out of order because there was no policy in
Right.
place.
Right.
So how did it turn out to be a political mayhem?
I came to work one day.
Yeah,
I was given a sticker note. This is when I was in District 5.
and where is that at?
That was on Ludlow.
Okay, Ludlow,
10,
Clifton.
12, yeah,
Clifton.
10, 12
okay.
Ludlow.
Okay,
And I was given a sticker, a little piece of paper. It says, respond to District 3 for a composite. So basically what happened was I got a little piece of paper that said, respond to District 3 to do a composite. And when I saw it, being made aware of what the policy was,
right,
I says, I can't do it like that. So I called over there and I spoke to, matter of fact, the same lieutenant that initiated the policy. And I told him, I said, sir, I can't come over there unless you have someone that can come over here.
right, to
No
back
one.
you up.
And he says, no, that's not the situation. They can't do it. The person has to come here. It was some reason why he couldn't send somebody to District 5. And I told him, I said, well, the other option, sir, would be, to have him come in after I get off of work,
Right.
or tomorrow morning.
Right.
I can meet him and do the composite.
Right,
So he got pissed off and he hung up on me.
your boss hung up on you.
Well, he wasn't my direct boss at that time. He was a boss in District 3. I was in 5.
Okay, right,
So I went on out on my beat, which I was running Winton Terrace. And I got what's known as a signal 2 to return to the district.
okay,
And when I got back to the district, my current lieutenant, a gentleman by the name of Hayden Thompson, he pulled me to the side. He says, what did you do? I says, what do you mean, what did I do? He says, Captain Morgan said that you went against his directive. He says, I don't know what you're talking about. So he says, come on. So he took me upstairs to the captain's office.
okay,
And we both walked in the captain's office, and the first thing that the captain did was put the lieutenant out. And when he put him out, he closed the door and he says, who do you think you are?
he said this to you?
Yes, yes,
Without your superior being there?
right.
This is not sounding good.
Oh, it wasn't. It
John.
wasn't. It wasn't good. He says, "Who do you think you are?" I said, "What's the problem?" He says, "I give you a directive to do something, and then you're gonna call up and say you can't do it." He says, "From now on," he says, "you're no longer on the robbery task force." He says, "and you're no longer going to do composites." I says, "Well," I says, "if you want to take me off the robbery task force, that's fine. I don't care. I say, but why hurt the police department?
Right,
It's a
right.
tool that we've been effective with, and it's worked." He says, "I don't care. And at that point, I stopped drawing for the police department.
How did you feel?
Well, I felt okay. I just felt that it was a tool that
I mean, how did you really feel? Let's not be. Let's
Oh, I'm
not be-
serious.
I mean, it didn't bother you?
oh yeah, as far as him talking to me the way he did, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
demeaning.
yeah.
Isn't that degrading?
Yes.
You followed protocol, and you were still,
And he understood that.
and he knew that.
Yes.
Because he wouldn't have been where he was if he didn't.
Yes, he understood. But like I
But you were a
said,
black man.
and I think he would have reacted the same way no matter what color the person was
Really?
in that situation,
Okay,
because it was someone who did something other than what he had told him to do.
right.
But his name was never on that little piece of paper. It was just a little piece of paper that said, "Go to District 3, do a composite."
But I'm telling you, it doesn't smell right.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Did you resign?
No,
You didn't resign.
no.
You just didn't do composites.
Yes.
And you went on,
I went on, became specialist
okay.
in my position, and became a domestic violence investigator. And
You are a domestic violence investigator?
yes, ma'am.
Whoa, now
And-
I'm into that.
That was part of it, and crime scene, major crime scene investigator. In other words, if something occurred at night on third shift, a major crime, I was dispatched, and I would dust footprints, take photographs, whatever it called for, I would be there to do that.
Well, this is what I want to do. I want to show our viewers some of your work. So can I please, camera people, can I have, because we've got to wrap up on this particular interview, but I must share your work, because viewers, this man is incredible. Can I get a close-up on that? Did you get that? Good, I'm going to show some more. This is so amazing. His gifting and his talents. Do you do commission work as well
Yes,
now?
yes.
Okay, good. Okay, and I'm going to show, this is a lovely one as well. Can you see this one? I like this one. This is dealing with feet. And this is an individual that was interviewed earlier. He's incredible. This one, you gave me a copy, and my daughter is in love with it. So, I'm graced to have you here today.
Great to be here.
You shared with me openly. I can only say that the best is coming for you, and hopefully you can look back at what happened to you as a good learning experience.
Oh, yes, yes.
But you're going to be fine, Mr. Hudson. Shake my hand. You're
Yes,
a
ma'am.
great man.
Well, thank you. Thank you
Thank
very
you so
much.
much. You
All
take
right.
care. All
Bye-bye.
right.